Well, welcome everybody to the 108th episode of the Party Invite show. I'm your host Tegan, joined by Vilos
That's me.
and Sovereign.
Hello.
Most of you see us every Thursday night, same time, same channel. We play a whole lot of games. We play a game stream together typically. Last week we had kind of a Oops All Games stream, and we enjoyed that. We appreciate everybody who stuck around to explore some games last week. In fact, we tried 2 brand new games on stream. Now that I'm thinking about it, revisited some others. Now that I'm really thinking about it, I think we played like 4 or 5 different games since our last show here on Twitch. That feels good. Yeah, and we're talking about, we've got Odysseus in chat, Nerdstead in chat, both people who here on Twitch have been on their own heroic journey, one might say. You guys have both been doing wonderful things, not only in our community, in our Discord, where we got lots of wonderful people grouping up to try new games, where otherwise, if you didn't have a squad, you wouldn't be able to. We've got some survival games on the horizon. Let's start off the show like we always do with Blissin' Up, something that made us smile, something that made me smile this week. Last Friday, we played a new survival game. We played Dead Frontier 2. It wasn't very good. But that's not the thing that made me smile. What made me smile is we had 6 of us jump into this free-to-play game pretty close to impromptu. There wasn't a lot of planning that went into it. We all just hopped on. We said, whatever it is, we're going to give it a shot. Well, you know what? It was goofy and strange, but that was really fun to be able to just go in cold, having no idea really what to expect. I appreciate our community for that. Even, you know what? Yesterday, if I got another Blissin' Up, yesterday I was about to hop on my computer, and we often have a lot of people hanging out in our Discord server. And a lot of people, I feel this way. I don't always want to be the first one to show up somewhere, right? You want to see the people are there and you want to join them. So in voice chat, you don't always want to be the first person there if there's no plan, pre-planned to hang out or something. Yesterday, I'm about to hop in my computer in my chair and load up Discord to do whatever I'm going to do. But instead, I'm in the kitchen. I'm making myself, a drink, and I pop into Discord. And I couldn't have been in there 15 seconds. And immediately, Odysseus and Deadpool are in there beside me. We're chatting. We're already figuring out some game that we're going to play. And I had never in my life has it ever been that easy to connect in voice chat with any other people. So I gotta shout that out. That just really made me smile. It felt wonderful to feel like there were people right there. It was like they were. It's like opening your front door when someone's holding up their fist to knock. So that made me smile.
Like waiting, just like watching like a hawk.
Right. I'm like, are you guys staring at this voice channel? Like, I just joined. Like, what are the odds? So that was good.
When they gonna join that? Let's see. Oh, there he is. Get him.
How about you guys? You both got stuff written here, and like I said before the show, I mean, there's tons of trailers and games out right now. I mean, there's just stuff falling all over the place to be enjoyed. Going into a good gaming season, I think.
Yeah, mine is a quick one, but very emotional for me. That's Xenoblade Chronicles 3's Wave 4 DLC was just out of nowhere. Shadow dropped the release date, which happens to be next Tuesday. Just Nintendo straight up all balls, like just completely. They're just like, you know what? You like Xenoblade? Fuck you. Like there was literally nothing saying that this was coming. Because being a Switch faithful, you hear rumors about everything constantly, and you have to drown that shit out. But yeah, there was nobody knew. It just happened. Fucking 3-minute trailer with a release date, and then a series of posts from Japan's Xenoblade Twitter and Nintendo's main Twitter, just random shit. Because every time a Xeno game releases, they have to do like new character announcements and stuff like that, and they just started piling it on both Twitters, so the Japanese only and Nintendo itself, and it was just wild. It was the Xenoblade community coming back into the fold, and just everybody talking about Xeno 3 for a solid 12 straight hours. The biggest people in the community were doing reaction videos like for hours
That is
afterwards.
wonderful.
And it was just fun seeing everybody's reaction, because the whole thing is that it's the finality of the Xeno trilogy right now, and we don't know what's next. And this is a DLC that's a 20 plus hour game.
Yeah.
Like it's its own thing, at the same time that it's the conclusion of everything. And we just learned about new characters, we fell in love with new characters, and it's going to be the best thing that happens next week. I was going to go to the NFL draft, but with how apeshit KC is, and with the rules and stuff that are going down, and just the congestion that the city is going to have, I was like, nah. I took the day off for Thursday, so I will have time to play Xeno. So,
Game
yeah,
day?
I'm foregoing football on that particular day, but
Oh no, what a loss.
it. The thing is that it still would be fun to be there, but holy shit, the whole thing is that it's 60,000 people is what the official event is rated for, or whatever. Like the stage and everything that they have built and stuff, and they're already estimating 300,000 plus people.
Jeez.
100,000 people have registered on the app, which is what is required to actually get into the draft experience. And it's like, I ain't about that right now.
Yeah.
I don't care if it doesn't come back to KC for 20 years, even though it'll probably be back in KC in less than 10 years, the way everything's going, unless shit goes down. But yeah, that Xeno is like the thing. It's going to be my entire next week, so you're going to have fun hearing about that.
Yeah,
Yep.
boy.
How
I
many
s-
cat girls have been introduced?
One new cat girl,
Yes.
actually. So yeah,
Word.
with the potential of another,
Oh.
potentially.
Whoa.
Well, this
Potentially.
is kind of
Question
bittersweet, isn't
mark.
it? Because like it's new stuff, right? But also it like marks the end of an era almost, would you say? Like it's crazy how far the
The
series has come since it was released stateside.
Literally what we theorized about and everything the whole time for Xeno 3, and what was confirmed in the trailer. The characters in Wave 4 DLC of Xenoblade Chronicles 3 are generation why am I losing it? Descendants of the OG characters. And the OG characters are also in it.
That's pretty
Playable.
cool.
So we
Boy,
get to see
playable
like 30-year-old hot daddy Rex. Like
playable Rex from Xeno 2, playable Shulk from Xeno 1. Yes, and their descendants.
wait, adult Shulk?
Yeah, no, you're gonna fucking love it. Yeah, he's also daddy.
It's like,
He's
you're
daddy in
not
his
gonna
own
believe
way.
this.
Yeah, yeah. Sav, you are not ready for this.
Oh man. I'm excited for
Absolutely
you.
not.
I speak for the entire community when I say that we love how excited you are. You know?
I'm gonna cry so fucking much on Tuesday, and however long it takes me to finish it.
Can you
It's gonna
live
be bad.
stream the whole thing? You're like, okay.
No, I will literally be a mess the whole time.
I was I was scrolling and I saw a clip of whichever of the new Star Wars movies had like the throwback moment during, it's like R2D2 is talking, talking to Luke Skywalker, and Luke Skywalker's like, I'm never gonna do it, I'm never going back. And R2 shows the footage, the original footage from A New Hope of Leia asking Ben Kenobi for help, you know. And I'm just scrolling here on my phone, and this thing starts playing, and I felt my throat catch a little bit, and I was like, whoa. didn't realize I was vulnerable right now. It just completely caught me off guard. And hearing you talk about these characters in the series that you've spent a long time with, not just in Xenoblade 3 times 100, sorry, times 300, but the rest of the trilogy, and the fact that you've got these characters coming back. I'm always a big sucker for characters returning, big unveils, and it was, they're back. It's those people you love, but gruffer. And, I really appreciate that. Let's see, without getting too off topic, with the Xenoblade series, how many? There's Xenoblade 1, 2, and 3, obviously. And then I know there are like other games. I'm only half joking. I can't remember this stuff. There's like the Xenogears story. Is that totally unrelated?
It's not totally unrelated. The current series has a lot of homages and thematic elements that are the same, but it's and visual cues. Like, it is very much a continuation, a spiritual continuation of Xenogears, Xenosaga. They both have little things that have come on to the blade part of the sagas. So yeah, it's got a lot of depth to it. I mean, I've personally been playing the games for 6 years, but they've definitely been around for a hell of a lot longer, and they have a lot of reach that has been in the industry for 30 years.
Yeah.
30 plus years.
Well, heck yeah. Well, Xenoblade Chronicles
So-
3, Wave 4. Oh, sorry.
No, you're good. I found Adult Shulk, like the official art of him or whatever, and he's not daddy. He's more husbando. There's a difference.
Okay, well, he's definitely at least one of those for everyone.
At
No,
least.
I mean, if they
Yeah.
think Shulk's daddy, I think they may need to reevaluate their definition.
But Rex is
That would-
absolutely daddy for
Oh, Rex is daddy
like,
as fuck.
there's no other way. Yeah.
Calling Shulk daddy would be like
And
calling Marth daddy. Like there's no.
okay, I get that. The funniest thing too is that the community just went absolutely ape shit for this trailer because literally both of the first two lines that Rex says were memes for the
What?
past 6 years, and he said them both, and it was the funniest thing. Because one of them is a line that he always says, but it came back for Xeno 3 when everyone found out spoiler stuff about Rex's relationships. And he always said, I'll show him a thing or three. And he literally says the line in this new trailer, and it was like the hypest moment. It was basically Avengers Assemble for Xeno. Like, it was so good.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Okay, well, excited about that. That's Wave 4 DLC for Xenoblade Chronicles 3. Zav, listen up. What made you smile?
Yeah. So, if anyone's been following me on Twitter, you will already know that today is my cat Harlow's birthday.
Oh!
Everybody wish her a happy birthday. You must look at if you're watching right now, you have to look at the phone right now on the screen. She's
Best
my
girl.
little baby.
Wow.
She's 1 year old today.
Cute.
Ooh, I love her to death. Yeah. Okay, autofocus is gonna. Oh wow, that
Oh, no,
actually
yeah,
didn't
that
take
was all
long at
right.
all. Okay, cool. I thought I was just gonna be like a hidden character for like the next hour. But she's actually asleep right over here. She wore herself out today playing around because we had a lot of fun.
As you
Enjoying
do.
her birthday and whatnot. So there is that, and as well, this weekend. So I guess I can't really say it made me smile yet, but thinking about the anticipation of this weekend is actually just so exciting. There is going to be a KC Game On LAN event, number 93 to be exact. So they have been around for like a really long time, even before like I was born probably. And
Probably.
But they're going to be happening over here in the Westport Commons area, and I will divulge more details about that after the show when we're doing our like closing shoutouts and whatnot. But it's basically 30 hours of straight up just tournaments, prizes, like PC gameplay. There's going to be karaoke there. They're giving away like $5,000 worth of prizes. It's crazy. It's awesome. And apparently we are partnering with KC Pioneers, so that's a thing. And they're going to be there doing their thing, whatever that is. And yeah, it's going to be fun.
Well, with specifics like that, what else is there to know? That's going to be a good time.
Like, what is it?
We got some people. I was gonna say locally, but I guess I'm not local to Kansas City anymore. People in Kansas City who are talking about going to everything this weekend, and it's another thing like the voice chat deal that I was talking about. Nobody wants to be the first one; they want to be the second or the third one. This is the call. This is the call. If you want to go to something like that, you got a squad here. Okay, like you don't have to know us. You don't have to speak in chat. You don't have to have built any sort of relationship with us at all. You are welcome to show up. We got nothing but good people, and meeting strangers at a lot of those events has been one of the most fun. It's like it's nice when you walk in the doors somewhere. It's like any convention. You walk in the doors and you know that the people are going to accept you for whatever you got, whoever you are. And, Sav, you're always out and about. You're at practically every big event in Kansas City, I feel like, that's...
It's really funny you say that because Benson and I went out to like a local haunt that we usually like frequent like every Tuesday. And we went there and there was a guy there who had met me at a Twitch KC Midwest like meetup like 5 years ago.
Mhm.
And he recognized me. We hadn't seen each other since meeting each other there. And like he was talking with, I guess, his coworker or something. And I just sit at the bar while I wait for Benson to go do whatever he's doing. And I'm sitting there and like he like looks over and he was just like, I know you from somewhere. And I was like, I get that a lot because I do get that a lot. I don't know. So I get that a lot. And he was just like sitting there, like, mind you, his coworker is sitting right between us and they were talking before I sat down. And so he completely abandoned their conversation to try and work this out. So he's sitting there just like, well,
Internet.
well, he was just like princess something something, and I just wanted to see how far he could get parsing it out before like giving him the answer.
Oh, no.
And then he was just like, well, we met at the Twitch KC, blah blah blah. And I was like, oh yeah, because I actually did look over and I was like, I know his face from somewhere, but I'm not going to say anything just in case I'm wrong. But I never forget a face, so I knew him. Anyway, I'm like, yeah, so I'm Sovereign Sin. He was like, Sovereign Sin. He like literally bangs the desk or whatever because he was just so excited to finally have the answer. Anyway, all that to say, yeah, apparently I'm popular. Like I am everywhere. More than Odie. Haha, take that.
Got him.
Better check your closet, Odie. I'm right there. But yeah, so come to the event. It's gonna be fun. In fact, Tegan, I think we met at a KC Game on LAN party. I think that's where we met because you were working for GGKC at the time, and there was like that sofa set up and all that.
I actually just found that picture again recently, and I was like, this was the first time we ever met. And I mean, I don't have a picture of me, but you looked like a little baby,
Oh yeah, I want to see the picture.
Oh, I'll send it to you. It's good
Yay!
stuff. But yeah, that's why I love taking pictures at events like that, or any of the gatherings that we've done, because you kind of forget how long it's been. Like, for a lot of us out there, when you make internet friendships, it doesn't follow the rules that a lot of the other relationships in your life do. So the passage of time is easy to forget. It's like, oh right, I guess we have known each other for like 6 years. It's just funny how that stuff kind of adds up. But anyway, we got plenty of smiles on our face. Okay, no more smiles. No more smiles. Right, we got to get serious. Let's talk about the games we've been playing this week. We've got a good lineup. Let's see. We got. I'm just gonna give a little roadmap here. Chat. What do you think? What do you think Sovereign has on the docket here? Could it be a shooter? Could it be real low key? Oh, I meant to make a pun earlier about you giving us the hard lowdown. I missed it, but it still counts. I get half points. Could it be a shooter? Could it be something just on the bleeding edge of these new games? It might be. It might be. Vilos. You know what Vilos likes? Video games. You know a lot of the video games Vilos plays are Nintendo games. Well, Nintendo means Mario, and we're gonna see a little bit more of that. I'm excited. I've had a couple people actually reach out to me because of you guys. When they mentioned the Super Mario movie to me, I actually had things to say about it because I knew it from you two. It was great. It felt good. I felt like I hadn't totally abandoned my tribe, Be like, hey, did you see Mario? And I'm like, I mean, I'm probably not going to, but look, I loved chatting about it.
But you got to go so you can get your 10.
That's right. Someone else got a 10 and they told me not to tell you, Vilos, but I'm chaotic evil right now, or chaotic neutral, so I'm doing it.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, I just wanted to let
Wait,
you
you
know.
went to go see it again though, didn't you, Vilos?
Yeah,
Because
KC is
I
out.
remember like reaching out to you and being like, "Hey, when we're gonna do the thing?" Because you have AMC, and you're
Yeah,
like, "I already
KC
went,"
is
and I was
out.
just like,
This city is out of Mario tins.
"Really?"
I could have gotten a Creed 310 if I really wanted to.
Oh.
A Creed
Is
310.
it nothing but abs all the way around the
Right.
outside of the tent?
It's just fists.
It's just fists, like a punching glove stitched onto some abs.
Yes, very accurate to the trailers. You
Yeah.
know.
Man, that's too bad. Gosh.
And then I've got a little game I might start just for kicks here, because before the show I talked about Terra Nil, a game I played on stream last week. All I really want to say about it right now is that I'm gonna give it more time before I revisit it, because the core game, you're like cleaning up a planet, you're trying to terraform and then create life and sustainability and then leave without a trace. The game's kind of, each map is like split into 3 parts. So I really like those elements of it as somebody who finds a lot of interest in environmental stuff. I really like the approach to it from design and gameplay mechanics and stuff. There are just some edges that need polishing. And since I only get one opportunity to play it for the first time, I'm going to wait a little bit longer. The game's $25 right now. This is one of the rare times I would tell you that I don't know if the state it's in right now is worth $25. Maybe in a few months, or maybe if the price goes down a little bit, it's your money, spend it how you want. But that's pretty much all I have to say about Terra Nil. We'll revisit it later. I enjoyed a lot of what I played, but I'm going to wait. The game that ate its lunch this week, when I streamed instead of the podcast last week, I streamed Terra Nil and a game called Mini Motorways. It's a game that popped up somewhere on my feed, came out 2 years ago. It's $10 full price. I picked this thing up. People, when I mentioned it to them, they're like, "Oh, is it like City Skylines?" And I wasn't sure. The answer is yes. It is absolutely like City Skylines. I just didn't know it yet. And in fact, when I went looking for tips in this game, I didn't even find a lot of tips for this game, but I did find useful things about City Skylines, a completely different game. Just talking about like road structure and road hierarchy is a whole thing. The most important parts first, and then whatever. I have been loving this game. Mini Motorways is a game, you can see the gameplay right here, where you start with one tiny house and one factory, and you need to connect them by road. When you do that, a car will leave the house to go to the factory to pick up a little pin, and it will run back home, drive back home. And then rinse and repeat. That's the whole game. You just need to build roads to connect all of the places on the map as more colors and more buildings appear. The colors correspond to where each car needs to drive. It looks like a board game, so I should really do some research and find what board game this looks like for anyone familiar with that, because then I could compare it. But this game is very minimalist, and it absolutely works in its favor. We can't hear it right now, but every little sound as the car's accelerating and braking, when the pins appear on the factories here, you can see, and when certain things like stoplights are making sounds. It's like this acoustic screensaver, and visually, this game is a screensaver. It puts me to sleep in the best way, where I can boot this up to do a daily challenge, or anything else, and just ease on into it. You can pause the game at any time, so imagine a game like Faster Than Light or something where you can always just pause and look at the whole map before assessing the situation or addressing any problems. But I like this a lot. No one likes getting stuck in real traffic, but I find traffic to be very interesting. It's like blood flow in a human body. Cars are the blood that pumps the blood of a city, essentially, or whatever. I said that poorly, but you understand what I mean. They're called arteries. Like main roads are called arteries for a reason. For for that comparison. And so anyway, this game is just you connecting roads and highways, roundabouts, bridges, tunnels, and lots of road tiles to try to get all of these colors to their corresponding factories before too many pins appear and a timer runs out. So I have just racked up a huge number of hours on this game, just playing in the normal speed because it's really relaxing to listen to. And if I fail, it's not that big a deal. I've been playing the like campaign mode. There's no, I don't even think they call it that, but I've been playing like the default mode because there's the default mode, endless mode, which has no repercussions at all. You can just pretty much do anything all the time. It's not full creative, but relaxed. And then challenge mode, which has just some weird, wacky, arcadey conditions to it. So a nice thing about this game, right now, the map, the terrain that you're seeing is Tokyo. I've never really looked at what Tokyo looks like, but apparently it looks like this. This is the one that I have struggled on the most. It's kicked my butt many times, but they're all the maps, all the terrain anyway, because the buildings are all randomly generated, but the terrain stays the same. Just your starting point within it might change between runs. You might be really close to water in one run on a city and really far away from it another. But it's really interesting. I've done cities like Moscow, Rio de Janeiro. Oh gosh, I've done like 6 cities and I can't remember any of the names of them right now. But it's really interesting. Just like I think terrain is cool, I think traffic is cool. I think the mundanities of everything that this game has going on, I think those are often the most interesting parts of the way that people live. Whatever. I'm not going to go off on some tangent. I could, but I'm going to try not to. I love this game. It's really relaxing. And as someone who drives a whole lot, it gives me something to think about during the day. Like now I've been spending my time on the road, like looking at stuff, and I'm like, well, why does this area get real dicey with stoplights and this area over here, same number of lights, doesn't, I'm a huge fan of roundabouts, and in fact, we were talking in Discord. I was sharing some satellite Google Map shots from a bunch of like highway interchanges in Kansas City. I was like, oh man, check out 119th and 35, and it's one of those highways where like as you're crossing the bridge, you switch lanes, so you're not on the right side of the road anymore. You're on the left side, regardless of which direction you're going. And I was explaining, basically, welcome to my TED Talk. I'm like, this is nice because you've isolated the intersection into 3 parts that don't touch each other. They don't have to compete for space with anyone but the people going exactly where they're going. And anyway, I just love the way that this game tickles my brain in a certain way. It just had me coming back to play for a challenge or to just play to have a relaxing, I tell you guys I listen to my like rainy sounds as like white noise sometimes. This game did that. It was wonderful. Certainly a good wind down game. That's not going to have you, it's not going to give you a total Tetris effect. So that's Mini Motorways. I bought it for $10 on Steam. I really liked it. I don't even know what other platforms it's on. It seems like it would be an excellent handheld game. Really enjoyed that. That's all for me. Played a handful of other things, but you've all heard it before. And if you're watching us on Twitch, then you can find all those VODs here. I played Casey's mod on Inscription on Monday. That was great. We're going to play it again next week. So if that means anything to you, I super love Inscription, and Casey's mod within it is pretty cool. So we'll see that on next Monday night at 9 Central and 7 Pacific. Hey, times, baby.
You got it right.
Yeah.
That's wild.
It's crazy. Okay, well, yeah, that's enough for me. Vilos, what if we bounce your way? Let's talk about Super Mario World plus Bowser's Fury.
Yeah. This one is technically what I played 2 weeks ago, but we didn't do pod night last week, so
Yeah, we won't hold it against you.
so yeah,
I will.
of course, because of the Mario movie releasing and stuff like that, I had gotten Super Mario World plus Bowser's Fury, or Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury, uh, for discount because of the Mario Day sales and all that stuff were going on for so long. And I was like, you know what? I've never done it. I've never played this version of the game. The 3DS Super Mario World 3D World was great, but I never played this when it originally came out on Wii U. So I was like, Bowser's Fury got to be good, right? And yes, can confirm it's great. It's solid. That's honestly the best way for me to put it because I've always loved Mario games, but I am one of those, like, I'm not a retro gamer, but I will say for me, Mario did peak at Sunshine and mostly the the 2D games. Oh my god, everybody's
dude.
dying in Kansas City.
Yeah,
Everyone.
seriously.
I thought it was getting quieter. I just wasn't gonna say
No,
anything, and I'm just.
I was so close to just muting. But I really am more of a fan of the OGs. Mario 2, Mario 3, those were my jam. Sunshine was the only 3D one that I just really got into. And when everything became, like new Super Mario Bros, I played them, but the Wii U game I just skipped over. Going into Super Mario 3D World, it is what it is. It's same old fashioned Mario, but the one thing was that the Joy Cons are not made for Mario. After taking care of this, bless you. After taking care of this entire game over a weekend, I did it in a day and a half. I beat Super Mario 3D World and Bowser's Fury, about 16 total hours, and it would have been about 13 hours had one particular level not fucked me particularly.
Tell me
And
how you really feel.
I am gonna, because it was I forget if it was World 6 or World 7. It was the final world. Yeah.
Oh, that's
Okay.
classic Final
It was
World.
it was the it was the final world. It was like 2 or 3 levels before the actual final level period. There's a point, and you always come to a point in a Mario game, right? Where the difficulty, it either spikes or like it plateaus. And this one was because there's no way to control your momentum on ice with a Joy-Con stick.
Oh,
It's
sure.
just not a thing, right? There is one particular level. Sav, have you played it?
I guess I don't understand the problem. I'm waiting for the rest of the story before.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's one particular level that you have to. It's like 50% of the level is you hopping onto an ice block that is flipping and flipping in different
Oh,
directions,
classic Mario
and
64.
it's following a path, right? Yeah, and it very much is. And it's following a path, except again, it's an ice block, and it's moving along this path. And you miss something, you die. That's it. You start the level over. Um, and even when you get to the technical checkpoint, it's just the same thing you were doing except harder.
Well,
you
wait.
know.
Well, what makes the Joy-Con specifically
Yeah,
like
that's
is
what
the
I'm
dead
confused
zone
about.
too
Is that
big?
The range of the dead zone, and it takes so long to realize. Like, if you're just going by your basic Mario instincts, you hop, or you decide you get your tail out so you can at least get a couple glides in if you make a mistake, so you can at least
Yeah.
glide your way down to the ice as it gets to the next stop over, because it's just flipping, and it's a rectangle most of the time, and in the second half of the level, it actually goes from being this horizontal thing to going vertical, and then flipping again in a different angle, and it's just difficult. So you really just have to know, you have to experience the level and die many times. It's just trial and error. But
I
you
hope that's
have to
part of a
also,
walkthrough you're gonna write. You're like, okay,
yeah.
first load up the level, die 9 times, and then
I mean, that's really it. You do have to realize that maybe fear is your worst enemy here, and you just have to walk very particularly. And that's where Sob's going to be like, "Oh, well, I've always fucking done that." And it's like, "No.
I usually play that
No."
part blindfolded.
Yeah.
I've never died on it once.
I just came out
It's
here to have a good time, and honestly, I'm feeling very attacked right now.
Uh-huh.
How could you
Yeah.
possibly say this entirely true thing about me?
Because the thing is, and I did find it on like a random Reddit or something. I was just like, I cannot be the only person that this just infuriated completely. And boy, I was right.
Yeah.
There's so many like forums and everything based on this one level. It's like, how do you do it? And when I finally saw it, somebody's like, well, the very first ice block you see, there's 2 mice. I forget what they're called, but the mice dudes that just have the big ass feet.
Wait, so the thing you're jumping on
And
isn't called a mice block?
it probably is. But it's this stupid smiley faced ice block, right? And these 2 mice are on it. They don't do anything to you. They're not coming after you. But when the ice starts moving, what do? Their feet start just like shuffling very quickly until they're in the right spot. Until they're in the right spot as it flips a couple times, like three or 4 times. That's the whole thing. That's the entire level.
You
That's
just
the
have to
game
not
being like,
panic?
you better watch what they're doing and then do
Well,
what they just did.
Mario, that's literally been Mario's MO for like teaching you how to beat a level since the very first game, the very first
Right.
level. So like,
But
so when you said earlier, that's always what I've done. I mean,
it's also it's also one of those things though that it's like, it doesn't even matter if you know how to do it. You still got to do it. It's still hard even when you know how to do it, because
Yeah.
the acceleration, Mario's, and by the way, one caveat here, I always play Luigi, and that
well,
was my downfall. That was my downfall on this particular level.
He's so
I did
slippery.
complete.
yeah,
I beat the level with fucking Mario because I switched, because it does allow you to switch characters between tries and stuff. So
Nice.
that said, I still should have been able to do it with Luigi, but it was not going to happen. I had so many lives, and I'm pretty sure I went through 35 of them. At least 35
that's like a whole
lives for
you.
one level.
Wow.
Yeah. It
I'm
is.
saying like a whole you because you're older than that because you're old.
Whoa.
Shots absolutely fired. And so, yeah, I beat it as Mario, but the whole thing was that you were supposed to just walk and accelerate your walking speed very carefully for like 5 minutes straight. And it was very hard and very frustrating.
Vilos, let me
But
explain to
Or
I
you
you
just
ended up
get
why.
to like
beating
the
it.
halfway point and then just float the rest of it with Peach.
If only. It was all lava. That's the thing. It's a lava level.
Well, let me explain to
We love a
you
lava
how
level.
traffic jams work. All right, you're supposed to very slowly, carefully
Mhm.
accelerate. You know, you're not supposed to stamp your foot on either pedal really a whole lot. You gotta do as the penguins do. You know how many people do that? Few, very few. You know, we should be
Yes,
more like the
yes.
penguins, is what I'm saying.
Obviously.
Yeah, we should all be
But
a little more penguin-like.
now that I got that out, that was the worst part of my Super Mario 3D World experience. Once I got done with that, it was very much an easy experience outside of that one level. Bowser's Fury, which you can play without even playing the main game, that's great. Bowser's Fury is fantastic. It's an open world adventure that honestly, I could play it. I could play Bowser's Fury more than I could play Odyssey, I think.
Yeah.
Which is saying a lot because I loved Mario Odyssey. But Bowser's Fury is open world, and you just go find these cute little cat shines that are very easy to get for the most part. It's not really about difficulty; it's just about taking the time to do things. There's one very particular one that I really enjoyed that the game is very intuitive about it, and it's kind of the whole uh, this is why you're playing a Mario game. Like this is it. And it's a section where you actually you fall down onto a section that is completely invisible, and you're like, oh, well, what am I going to do here? And you realize that the impact of your footsteps or hopping a little bit uh, shows a little bit of what you're standing on. And so the more you walk around, the more you hop around, every impact has a little bloop, and
Oh, that's cool.
you see the ground. And it goes for like 2 minutes straight, unless you're just like running through it and you die, you fall off and everything. But it goes in like circles, it spirals, it goes up to this high point, it goes across and around and all this stuff. Like you end up like a half mile away from your starting point at one point, and then you drop down into this area to get a shine, and it's just really cool. And the entire experience, you're in the Mario cat suit almost the whole time. Like that's the only
Vilos,
way to play it.
do you own a Mario catsuit? And if not, why? What are you waiting for?
I
Is
mean,
what I'm
I
saying.
definitely would in real life. That's not
Okay. Well,
anything
I'm
new.
gonna hope I never see that because.
if we get 5 subs before the end of this show, I'm buying Vilos a Mario catsuit.
We might have to do
Man.
our after dark show a little early if that happens.
Well, I'm excited that you're enjoying that. And as much as we poke fun about the Joy-Con stuff, I don't remember what game it was. I will say when my Joy-Cons got messed up, playing Hades was impossible. But that was because of faulty Joy-Cons, like they weren't working as intended. There was another game. It might have been Thumper, but it might have been something else, where there was also a dead zone issue. Oh, it was Into the Breach, because you use like a little circle as your cursor, and unless I pushed far enough, it didn't even recognize that I was moving the Joy-Con at all. And I remember that being kind of a pain, so I started just like using other things instead. Um, I wonder what makes the Nintendo Joy-Con Dead Zone bigger than other controllers. Like, I obviously don't know enough about the the very physical hardware of it, but I wonder why wouldn't they both be equally good? Like, what
It's
would be
the
the
height of the
limitation?
sticks for the Switch. As
Yeah,
far as the Joy Cons go, it's the height of the sticks because any far motion is gonna hit. It's gonna actually stop you from going any farther because of the tilt.
right.
And that's what I was getting with the walking issue, because the momentum is just completely different than if I were doing it on the Pro Controller or an Xbox. It's wild,
Especially if you're playing Luigi. That's like
especially
the Mad Cats of
God
ice
damn
levels.
it. Absolutely.
It's tough times. Okay. Well, unless you got anything else, huh?
I
Let's.
mean, my only other thing was that I'm now in the last third of Fire Emblem Engage.
Oh
It's
yes.
very close to done. It should be done by the end of this weekend, so I can get to everything else. But yeah, full thoughts on Fire Emblem Engage next week, probably too.
Nice. Looking forward to that.
It's bound to be engaging.
Okay. Nintendo, hire this person.
Should I
Then
turn the Nintendo
Sav.
minute into a Nintendo hour when I don't think it work out.
If it's after Vespers, the rules don't apply.
This is fair.
Well, Sav, you got you're really surprising us this week. The nice thing is it's like when someone shows up at your door every day with a new surprise, after a while I'm like, look, my cheeks hurt, okay? I can't keep smiling at all these gifts. What do you want from me? And now I feel like you're showing us too many games as an evil plot for us to have too big of a backlog. Like, no, actually, maybe that's what you're doing for Vilos. You're showing us all these games so that Vilos won't be able to complete his backlog. Is this your villain era? Am I saying that right? I mean, I think.
Well, the games that I'm showing don't really have an end game, which means if they were added to a backlog, you would never finish them.
Wow.
So I think that might be a little too evil.
It's devious. That's what it is. Well, tell
Aha.
us about. Okay, so I don't think I realized when I saw this that the whole title was XDefiant. I thought it was just Defiant, and X was like just a thing in their branding. I think. Um,
Well,
XDefiant.
the full name is like Tom Clancy's XDefiant or something like that.
Yeah. I watched I'm Hyper Fam, who we've shouted out before. He's one of the only streamers I have a T-shirt for in Kansas City. Go follow him. I watched him play an hour or two of this, and it was dope. As I was sitting there, I was like, I'm seeing things happen, and I was like, what would Sov do right now? Like, kind of imagine, because he mainly plays Call of Duty, so it was interesting to watch him play. He also mostly plays Warzone. Um, so watching him go from Call of Duty Battle Royale to an arena style, not quite hero shooter. Like it has classes and stuff, but it's not really that. Uh, I don't know. I didn't get the impression
It's
that.
not like it's not like very like it's not hero oriented. It's like Road Company where you have the different classes and within those classes there are characters that have their own specialties.
Yeah.
Um, and my favorite thing to do is whenever I find a new game, I like to make it a baby of another game that's more familiar to other people. That way it's easier to relate them to it.
Mm-hmm.
And so the last game I talked about was I think what Hyenas. Um, and I can't remember. I think I said it was like Lawbreakers and something. I can't remember. Go back to the watch the VOD, y'all. Yeah, interact. But
I
this
think it
one
was
is
Lawbreakers and Road Company. Oh no, I'm mixing that up with
with
don't
that
the one whose name
veiled expert.
Veiled Experts. Yes.
Yeah, which is definitely like Roko. Like that's not even a baby Roko. That's just Roko's sister or something.
Yeah.
Like twice removed. But this one is basically just a baby of Road Company and Call of Duty. Like it has all of the like the tacticalness and the class-based elements of Road Company, and then it has like the frenetic kind of like I mean I guess like the gunplay warfare of Call of Duty. It's very like gameplay gunfight wise feels very Call of Duty. The time to kill isn't very large at all, which is
Mm-hmm.
something I don't really appreciate. I like a good time to kill because it gives me the option of like strategizing approaches and retreats, and the gunplay itself means that, if you're caught off guard, could still like reevaluate and even turn the fight around.
Yeah.
In games with short times to kill, if you get caught off, you're just dead. And it also shortens the amount of time that you can play because if you spend a lot of time dying, I don't particularly, but if you do, then like that's really discouraging as a player. It's like, am
Yeah.
I
I
ever
spent
going to
like
even
time
get to
in
play the game?
lobbies and queues and pre-match lobbies and
And shorter times to kill pads stats positively and negatively. Like if you're on the butt end of that, then your KDA is going to be like 2 and 23, and then people are going to be like, "Whoa, you so like."
yep.
But on the other hand, if you're on the good side of that, then your KDA is going to be like 23 and 2, and then you'll get reported for hacking. So like
Yep.
the the time to kill thing is an issue. I think like that might be ironed out, and it kind of helps because all of the different like there's only 24 total weapons in the game, and everyone can use them all. They're not bound by class or anything.
Oh,
You don't have to like unlock them. As far as I know, you don't have to like unlock them um, through playing with them, like in Rogue Company, where if you want to use like I don't know an LMG on Lancer, then you have to play someone who already has the LMG as part of their basic loadout and master the weapon so that it's able to be used on anybody. But this one, you just get the weapons right off the bat. The only thing that you do have to unlock are the attachments, which is where I bring in the Call of Duty like comparisons because gunplay in that game requires like all the attachments to customize to your playstyle. So if you want to do something in particular, you have to have the proper attachments. They also give you like a better weapon. So if you have like a fewer catalog of attachments to choose from, you have a very limited way to, do anything. Of course, it does still come down to the fundamentals of like being able to shoot things. So if you have the best attachments in the world, but you can't hit something, then it's not going to help you.
yeah.
Um, but where this comes along on like the Roco side with like the class-based nonsense is the game has 6 different factions. I think there are 6. And what's really cool about them is all of the factions are representative of other Ubisoft properties. So
Yeah.
I believe the video that we're watching right now is going through them a little bit, but I can just list them for the people who will be listening to this later and not watching the VOD. So the cleaners are like pyrotechnic people, so they have like a lot of flame abilities and like flamethrowers and things like that, and they are from the Division. The Echelon, which are basically like all the super spies that come with like the cloaking gadgetry, the light vision, and all this whatnot, they are the Splinter Cell division, or the faction. And then they have the Libertad, which are the freedom fighters from Far Cry 6, and they specialize in like healing and biotech and things like that. So they're really like a support class, kind of, sort of. And you'll see kind of them if you look at the video right now, what they're about. Then there are the Phantoms, which are known as the Future Soldiers, and they come from the Ghost Recon Phantoms, of the same name. And they have like this really cool like barrier-like thing. I don't really know what it's called. I can't because I've never used it, but it's not really my playstyle. But it basically stops bullets and like artillery, like grenades and stuff, from piercing that barrier, and you can approach people. However, by the same token, you can't shoot out of it, so you have to be within that dome to use it. And then there's the DeadSec, which are cyber attackers and from the Watchdogs, and they focus on like jamming, hacking, like disrupting tech and abilities and things like that. So um, those factions are all that you have to choose from. And then within those factions, you do have the different um, weapons that you can use. So they have, all the standard types. They have the rifle, the shotgun, the LMG, SMG, Uzi, blah, blah, blah. So the name of the game is finding the weapon you like and the class that you like and customizing everything to your playstyle, which is something that I always really appreciate in any kind of game. I like being a niche character and doing my niche little thing. So I cannot wait to figure out what that is, because right now I am just kind of playing around, because each faction has their own active abilities that you use and then their passive traits, much like Rogue Company. And then they have like an ultra ability. So figuring out what you want to do and how you want to play comes down to just kind of toying around with all the different factions and seeing, first of all, what kind of faction you like to play, and then tailoring your gunplay around what you want to accomplish on the field.
I don't want to play an Ubisoft game, but at the same time, the factions idea is probably the best multiplayer idea Ubisoft has had in a very long time.
Yeah.
That sounds so cool.
I wouldn't say that, because like, oh wait, no, never mind. I don't think that Rabbids, what's it called? Mario XCOM game. I don't think that's multiplayer, is it?
No,
No.
no.
Okay, never mind then.
And they did Rainbow Six Extraction, which was a good foundation for a game,
Yeah.
but there wasn't really enough. Not that we like ran out of content, but it was just like there were things about it that made it difficult to play that game as casually as I wanted, I think. Yeah, so I'm excited about that. Like I love that by using characters from other IPs, like you get to know them in the game, and if you like the call outs that they have and stuff, you might be like, oh, maybe I want to go play that game. Like maybe I want to go play Far Cry 6. I want to.
I mean, it worked for Smash Bros.
Yeah.
Nobody knew what Fire Emblem was until Marth came along. They were like, "Who the fuck is that?"
No daddy, that's for sure.
What?
Call back. Yeah, but I really like that cross pollination of IP. Well, it's all their IP, but it's taking these different things
Like
under their
franchises,
umbrella.
yeah.
Not Umbrella Corp, not Capcom, but yeah, there's just like a lot to pull from, and I think it's an interesting way to flesh out all of these worlds, or like how would they interact if they were in this scenario where there's no diplomacy, you're just fighting. How would this look, and how would it be balanced? Like how is each faction cool enough to kick everyone else's asses potentially, even if like these people have crazy crazy tools, like crazy future tech. These people don't have future tech, so it makes them special. I think that's an interesting idea, because you could just do that with regular classes in any game and be just fine. But since behind that you have these other games, it's kind of like Overwatch, where like there's a sort of lore to it, how all these things connect, but in that game you can't play it, right? You just get the allusions to it, which sometimes is better than the real thing. I don't think I have the time to play all the way through Far Cry 6, but it'd be cool to hear how the Libertad faction works in there, just hearing callouts and stuff.
I wonder, like, considering the fact that it is like this kind of fusion of all the realms and whatnot. I wonder if it's pronounced cross-defiant because a lot of games that do that, they do have like the X in there, like Blaze Blue Cross Tag Battle, or what is that mobile game that had all the Capcom games like together? Um, Shoot, I can't remember something, but it had cross in it, cross blah blah
Yeah.
blah. So yeah, I wonder if it's called. I wonder if it's actually supposed to be pronounced
I
cross-defiant.
bet you're 100% right. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll
now
have
that
to
you're
look more
saying
into
it.
this. Yeah. But what's really cool about it is that since it's a live service game, because of course it is. They're gonna have all the updates and stuff, and they might add new factions, which means we might see more properties represented. Now, what kind of other properties they might be able to bring in is kind of up in the air because it is a shooter. So, like, if they wanted to bring in,
Geralt, they'd probably have trouble,
yeah, yeah. I mean, he's got Agni, right? That's a projectile, kind of.
Acne?
Isn't that what it called? The fire magic? Isn't that what it is?
Oh, um,
Agni.
I don't know, but I'm like, what in the world? Skin? What are you, a
Oh, pff,
skin bender? What are you talking about? Um, Acne? I mean,
Acne.
Wile E. Coyote shoots Acme.
But I don't know. Well, it's gonna be fun to watch like as it evolves because right now it's in its closed beta. You can actually go to the website right now and apply, and or you can watch on Twitch and get a drop and get a code that way. I just happen to be accepted through like the application program, so I'll be streaming that a lot during the LAN party this weekend. I'm also going to be streaming the Splatfest. Actually, I don't know if I will because I don't know if it's this week or the next week. But the Splatfest for Splatoon 3, which I also have been playing by the way, is the Triforce. Which Triforce piece is you? Are you wisdom? Are you courage? Are you power? Because that's going to tie into Tears of the Kingdom. Obviously, I'm wisdom. So I'm looking forward to that. But this is a really. I've been having such a good time with this game. It's been such a long time since I like logged in and just like went balls to the wall crazy with no objective of like trying to climb up the skill tree or anything like that. Because usually when I open up a game like this, I'm just like, okay, which character do I play to just be the biggest nuisance on the field, But
Yeah.
I'm just having a lot of fun exploring the worlds and the characters right now. It's really cool. And they have some, I mean, they have the standard modes. So you have the occupy, which is like the rotating king of the hill point. Then you have like the domination, which of course is domination. And then there's like a payload, which bringing back to that Overwatch comparison you said earlier, they have the payload mode where you escort, a payload. But then they have this like really unique one, which I don't think I've seen in a shooter before. And it is called zone control. So in this one, you have the points that you occupy, like, the domination points, but there's one side attacking and another side defending. And so you, as the defenders, you have to hold these nodes. It's like a path. Um, Actually, it's kind of like tower control in Splatoon, now that I'm thinking about it. If anyone around here has played Splatoon and you play tower control, it's kind of like that. Except for the zone doesn't move like the tower does. Um, it's just basically tower control, but without the tower. So you still have the checkpoints. So the attacking team is trying to break through the checkpoints and then get to the end of the line that way. And it's really intriguing because it's not your standard like objective play when it comes to like arena shooters like this. And so it's almost like you have to employ like a new strategy around how you're going to be attacking and how you're going to be defending. So I don't know. It's something new that kind of like shakes up the arena shooter genre. And I'm always about shaking up the genre.
Sovereign Shakeup. That's the name of the new feature.
Put in the
Call it.
stationery. It's on my bingo card. But no, for real, this has been a lot of fun. And at first I was worried because it's Ubisoft, so
You
the
never
last
know
thing
what
I
you're
was
gonna
really
get.
excited about from
You know?
them was Roller Champions, and you know how long I played that for. So yeah, this is cool. Cross Defiant / X Defiant.
Yeah, Cross Defiant sounds better. Maybe
It really does.
maybe they'll
I'm gonna
change
have
the
to like
name
look
for
into it.
us.
I'm gonna tweet Ubisoft today, and I'm gonna be like, "How do you say this name? Tell me. The world needs to know. The masses are frothing at the mouth."
Can you tweet them right now and find out? Because I have to know what this is.
Okay, let's see. First, I'm gonna see if it's actually just written out on like their page.
It would be nice. I didn't immediately see it because I was scrolling on it on my phone, looking, searching. But that's all right. Yeah, cool faction stuff. The gunplay looked interesting. When I watched I'm Hyperfam play, it could have been that his settings weren't dialed in because I know there were at least a couple things that he didn't see on the options like accessibility stuff and all that until later on. But um, it almost seems more like they want mid-level shots. Like they don't want a lot of no scoping on snipers as much. Because I watched him I watched him do the same thing he does in Call of Duty, where he just drops people. He's very good at Call of Duty now. He's been putting in work. I was watching him land shots where I was like, that guy's dead. It didn't even matter if it hit him in the head or not. Like, that guy's dead. And there was just no hit at all. But it wasn't clear that it was a server issue, which it could have been, because it's just an unusual state right now. Is it out right now, or is it in early access? I actually
Crossify is in closed beta until the 23rd. It's been open since I believe the 16th, and they're still taking, like I said, applications. So if you are interested, if anything that you've seen or heard sounds intriguing to you, give it a shot and apply. And I mean, right now it's for free, 99. So
you can't
the only
go
thing that
wrong.
you can lose is time.
Yeah.
Or patience if you die a lot.
Yeah, well, I mean, we tried Dead Frontier too. It was free, all right. But we had a good time because the squad was there, so it was worth it. It's time not wasted if you enjoyed it. Anyway, what else have we got? I think that's it. Yeah, that's what we've been playing. Hey, all right. So
That is indeed.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games for you right there. Hopefully you walked away with something you're interested in. We've talked about a lot of stuff on the show tonight, though, outside of those 5 games. But as if we didn't have enough, we wanted to have a party topic this week discussing the Nintendo Indie World Direct. It's not a direct, right?
Showcase.
Showcase, right. They're two different things, direct with a capital D. The showcase is 20 minutes long. Love it. Love it. Had a whole bunch of indies. Some are ports, some are DLC, some are, to me at least, new altogether, new IP. Let's go through some of that. We're going to show you some trailers because while the Indie Direct itself did show little teasers almost, little blips of the ports especially, we're going to just give you a quick rapid fire of some of those that we saw before. So what if we bounce between us? We each do one and pass it. Vilos, do you want to start?
Sure. Let's see. The first one I'll talk about is Escape Academy Complete.
Yay!
It's coming to Switch. That makes me super excited because I didn't really know if that would happen. But Escape Academy, we played through the whole damn game except for the DLC. That is why this is called the Complete Edition. So the Complete Edition actually has, I think it's 2 official DLCs. That's actual, I think, 3 rooms, maybe another 4 rooms, but also a different mode. And I don't immediately remember what that mode was. But the fact is, that's a lot of game. I mean, that's what, 8 hours, 10 hours of the base game, and then probably 6 to 8 for the additional levels. I did play through the first level of that DLC, thanks to the wonderful team that created it. The devs are really cool. They are well worth your support. And Escape Academy Complete is, I think, only going to be $30, so that's super cool. It's
Yeah.
very worth it if you're a puzzler, especially if you're an escape game enthusiast, because I've played plenty of escape games, and this is the best example of it for me.
And
Even
seems like a
though,
top tier co-op, like local and online
yeah,
experience.
because the thing is that it's 2-player co-op, and I didn't know how well that would work, and it worked really well between me and Chris, I think. And I've played other games that Escape Room Simulator, I believe, can do 6 or even 8 people. It can at least do 4, but I know that they've had updates since then. I think that expanded it, and that can be too much.
Yeah,
But I
that
think
sounds like
that
a lot.
the 2-player co-op for Escape Academy really worked out. And it's being published by I Am 8-Bit, which is really cool because they didn't announce it, but that 9 times out of 10 means there's going to be a physical edition. So
Nice.
there could be a really cool collector's edition or just a regular retail copy. that they should put on a cartridge as well. And for a lot of Switch players out there, that's what we're looking for. So I am super hyped about that.
Yeah. There's a lot to be hyped about. Sav, do you want to bounce to you? We'll get this rolling.
Yeah. So, I mean, moving on from something that not whimsical, it is very much super duper serious. I'm really excited about Blasphemous 2. Ouch. Hi, Harlow. Happy birthday.
Hello.
I mean, it's more blasphemous. Blasphemous 2, Pit at Boogaloo. So I'm out here. I love me some action platforming. And I don't know if I would call this a Metroidvania. I'm not really sure if I would. It definitely has the same elements. But I'm just here for all of the art. I'm here for the action. Everything feels so satisfying to play. And it looks like they have some new weapon types here. And the way that you upgrade those is really going to affect how you traverse the world and, take down your enemies. And I love just like adopting new strategies on the fly. I don't know how you could switch between the three. I'm hoping you could do it, at leisure, because that can create some really cool like combos and things like that. Yes, hi, honey. I'm busy. She's like, it's my birthday. Pay attention. But no, Blasphemous 2, like it's. Oh,
it looks so the art style, of course, is like real clean. It definitely looks less grotesque than the first one, I think.
yeah, for sure.
I mean, I
But
haven't
still
watched them back to
brutal.
back. Yeah, brutal for sure, especially some of the ones they show really quickly. I mean, I imagine that this is a Metroidvania, yeah. But I would even compare it to Ori and Hollow Knight before I'd talk about either Metroid or Castlevania.
It's definitely more the Vania though.
Yeah. Not a lot of
The
alien
animation
energy
is so cool.
suits is what I'm saying.
The bosses are wild though.
Yeah, like where do they come up with this stuff? Like I kind of just like lackadaisically played like I didn't look deep into like any of the origins of it or anything like that. So is it like completely just all based on like biblical stuff? Like do they draw all of
Sure,
the
yeah.
because I don't know if it's like straight out of like, straight out of the stories or anything like that. I think it's just like inspired by them. So I don't know, but some of the things in this trailer just look outrageous, and
straight
I
up
want to know who's just
blasphemous.
sitting there. I just want to know who's sitting there, like in the creative room, just like, it'd be really cool. Like half a human torso, just wailing on you. Like, whoop.
It's like, okay, you know what'd be cool? The upper half of a man, but he's huge, and now a hive of bees lives inside him. It's like, oh my gosh, how do you sleep at night?
Listen,
With the window open. No.
the sword is called Mea Culpa. I mean, come on. This is just so cool. Blasphemous is just dark as hell, and I love it.
Is that the world release of that, or does that exist and this is a port?
That I don't know.
Okay, well either way, it looks super cool. Yeah, I'm pretty interested in this. Like, it looks like it's really gotten a lot of attention. There I don't know. There are things about side scrollers. I feel like it's one of those things like I have trouble putting my finger on what makes a good one seem like a good one. I have trouble articulating it. But this looks like a good one to me. The combat and the interactions and hitboxes and all that stuff looked really nice. And maybe I like it because it seems pretty minimal. Like, there are a low number of like pixels and polygons or whatever on screen. Because sometimes in games that have just like a whole lot of flashes and spells and numbers and particle effects, I get lost in what's actually happening. So a lot of that looks like it looked clean in a way that's easier for my eyes. As I'm playing Noida right now.
Release, by the way.
Say that again?
I said it looks like it's a world release.
Yeah, that was the first official announcement of the game, period.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, good for them. Looks dope. Well, that's
World
Blasphemous 2. Yeah. World premiere. Let's see. I'll pull one of the ports out. Plate Up is a game that we've played a bunch in our community. Played Up is a 4-player Overcooked adjacent game. Um, you it's not quite as accessible as Overcooked, I would say, but it's pretty good. You have the front of house, the back of house, cooking and cleaning. You got to do dishes and all this stuff in your restaurant as people come into your, they come into your restaurant. You can choose what type of food to cook, and each type of food cooks differently. As it's a roguelike style, so after every level, you get to choose between some sort of challenge upgrade. Every good thing it gives you comes at some sort of cost. So you get to design your kitchen. You get to pick up and move all of the parts and pieces that you purchase between levels using the gold based on how quickly you completed the level. You do all that to build. So you get the fix of Overcooked, where you can each take different roles and kind of accidentally sabotage each other, even though you're definitely on the same team. In Overcooked, it's a little easier to be chaotic evil, but in this game, it does have like a slow burn to it where you're playing to win. Like, you don't want to mess around too much, because when you lose, it's just over, and you'll be an hour. You'll be at least 30 minutes into a run and lose, and it can be tough. But it's up to 4-player. It's also good single player too. I've watched Odysseus play that. I'd never ever thought this game would be a single player game. But it is. It's cool, and it seems like it would be good handheld. It's definitely best on controller on Steam, where we play it. But that's Played Up. It's really good. It really is a very fun co-op game. It's good. That is a gamer's game. Where Overwatch is accessible to non-gamers, I don't think Played Up is. But if you do have people who are down for that kind of thing, it's really good at it. It gives you lots of ways to feel good about your teamwork when you've got a big kitchen going. So, yeah. So that's a port that's just now on Switch, and highly recommended. All right, Vilos, back to you. What do you got for us? What are you buying?
Oh, let's see. I've watched way too much of that in the past week. So yeah, my other pick is Bomb Rush Cyberfunk. We finally got some more on that. We'll have to actually watch the video in order to get that release date, because I forgot where it was. It's in Discord somewhere. But we finally got a release date. Again, this is the game that is the Jet Set Radio Future spiritual successor. We've gotten a lot of things that are, homages to it, like Hi-Fi Rush was, but this is it. Like, this is what Sega's not doing, right? So I cannot wait to get my hands on this game. Finally having a release date is awesome. And just like with Blasphemous, this is like the big announcement where we finally got the info we needed. We finally got a release date. And we see here a lot more than just the traditional grinding on rails and stuff. So it looks like this is going to be a much more ample game here. Like, you see the phone pop up on the screen, and there's messages. So you've obviously got like little quests and stuff that you actually get to go on, to make it what seems to be a fuller game than Jet Set Radio Future ever was. So super hyped. It's gorgeous. It's indie. Like, I'm down. And the music's gonna slap.
Without a doubt. I knew as soon as I saw the art style, I was like, oh, this music's great. I can't even hear it, and I love it. Dope. Okay, well, Sav, bouncing it back to you.
Wait, no, bring that video back. I was enthralled.
Oh!
So, I mean, speaking of music, my next one that I have is Rift of the Necrodancer, which is made, of course, by the same people who did Crypt of the Necrodancer and also the Crypt of the Necrodancer Cadence of Hyrule.
There you go.
So, I mean, I had to remember the rest of that title because I don't have it written down in the notes somewhere, but I got there. But no, Rift of the Necrodancer looks so cool. First of all, I love that they have like the no pressure mode where you're not trying to complete the story, where it's basically just rhythm heaven. Because we've needed a new Rhythm Heaven for like who knows how long. I don't even know. I try not to think about it because it makes me sad. And now we have it. Of course, it comes with this also like full on kick ass game. Um, and I don't know. I've been on a really big rhythm game kick recently, and this happened to just fall into the timeline at the right moment. So I'm really happy not only that we're getting this, but also that it kind of leans into that sort of rhythm heaven esque like aesthetic with all of the pop art. I really love like the vector pop art that they have going on here. It's very reminiscent of not only Rhythm Heaven, but also like with the WarioWare games, which I believe like Nintendo has like three different teams. It's like Nintendo Team A, B, and C or something like that. And I think like Team B is responsible for like WarioWare and Rhythm Heaven because they have a lot
Can't,
of the
can't they
same like
be can't they be Team M and Team W, and it's just it's just two rival internal teams that are always competing to one up each other. Somebody
Nintendo
get on
hired this
this.
person. No.
Nintendo. I'll go knock on some doors
Nintendo.
tomorrow.
I don't know. I mean, there's what you get is what you see. So like, even though it looks pretty, I mean, it's a rhythm game, so it's pretty basic in principle. But it's the execution that it's going to come down to.
Yeah. I just checked to be sure because I didn't rewatch that part of the trailer because I was just too hyped. But it is Danny Baranowski coming back for the
Ah,
soundtrack. So,
yes,
hell yeah.
I'm so excited.
He makes such good shit. So it's going to be
And
so
I'm still mad
fun.
at Team Meat. I'm still mad at them because the original Super Meat Boy had Danny Baranowski, you know, with the soundtrack, and I was listening to it yesterday when I was like taking like my little soaking bath. I had like bath salts and oils and everything. It was so nice. Um, not the drug bath salts, actual bath salts. So,
I think those are
um,
the same thing. It just depends who you're asking.
really?
You're
I thought
right.
okay. I just thought they just called them that. I don't
Nope,
know.
that's actually what it is, you know?
I'm very chaste and innocent. Anyway, let me just finish this fireball. So no, it's I'm so excited. I didn't know that. I kind of assumed because like it's a whole franchise affair, that Danny B was gonna come back, but I don't know. I'm really glad to hear that.
I thought you were
Um,
saying I always thought that maybe bath salts were the same ones I'm hearing about in the news. Um,
those dang bath salts.
we're
But no,
breaking news
team.
here. We're enlightening people to the horrors of the world, like Blasphemous 2 and Bath Salts 2, coming to a Switch near you,
Oh,
August
Nintendo
18th.
definitely would not pick that up.
I don't know. Sometimes Nintendo has, sometimes they take on a game that's pretty surprising.
I mean, you guys haven't played Milk Inside a Bag of Milk yet, so.
And I guess they do have that panty fighter on the eShop.
Oh, it's only right. Um, okay, well, I tell you what. So that's Rift of the Necrodancer. Yeah. Um, Another one that's on here is Brotato, which I streamed on a roguelike Mondays. I don't know, month and change ago. Brotato is a Vampire Survivors like. I haven't really played a bullet hell myself. I haven't gotten my hands on it um, until this one, so I can't say that it's really better or worse than Vampire Survivors. I don't know, but I can tell you that it's fun, and it's got a Binding of Isaac aesthetic. Whew, man, that was a lot. That was okay. Whew, we got through it. It has a familiar aesthetic, and you're running around. It's a bullet hell game. You're in this big arena, just trying to uh, dodge enemies and shoot them with weapons that you choose between each round, roguelike style. This game is in early access, so I'm actually surprised a little to see it on Switch before 1.0. I don't know if that's common or not. I honestly cannot remember. But it's a good time. Thanks to Shani, who will be playing Pentiment with us tonight, for gifting me that game. That's the only reason I played it in a genre that I have never really touched. And I'm glad I did. This game is very good on handheld, it's very good on controllers with joysticks. So I think this would be a really good game to pick up on Switch. Like it's as far as just kind of a mindless roguelike, which is something I'm looking for often. Uh, it's good stuff. That's Brotato. The icon is a potato wearing like a red Rambo bandana. Um, it doesn't have the same like Broforce satirical thing going on, but it's good. It's a good game. I think it was like $15 maybe on Steam, so I imagine it'll be somewhere between 10 and 20, probably 15 or 20 on Switch. Uh,
That said, it also didn't come with a release date for Switch, by the way. So
oh,
they're just making sure everybody knows by the time it does get to 1.0.
okay. Then I might check out.
Yeah, it's still baking.
Yeah, I might see what time the 1.0 is supposed to be out, and see if I
You
can.
didn't even get him with it.
Oh man,
There we go.
that went completely over my head. Oh, you got me good. Um, emotes in chat, everybody. Okay, so what else? I know Chance of Sonar is cool, but one of you guys can talk about it if you'd like. Cult of the Lamb DLC is cool, but same thing. Have either of you played Cult of the Lamb?
I
Not
have
yet.
not.
Then let's see. Looking at this list, what if we do this one I have highlighted, the kitty one.
Yes, I wish we had a longer trailer because I just wanted to watch so much more of that game. I have it listed in our docs here as Untitled Cat Game because it's giving that same energy, as Untitled Goose Game. And I don't know if it's made by the same people because I didn't look that deep into it. I just know that I want to play this game.
Yeah, it's absolutely Untitled Cat Game.
I wonder. I saw that you could like put different hats on and stuff. I wonder if you could actually choose between different like breeds of cat. Like we saw the black cat,
Oh,
but like, can you be a calico? Can you be like Siamese? Can you be a Burman like my Tia Dalma, or can
The
you be a tuxedo like my Harlow?
the previous mentions on like Twitter and stuff like that, I'm pretty sure they had at least like 5 different cat types. So
Yay! As long as you
nice.
don't have to be orange, because orange cats are too chaotic. They're crazy.
I mean that's why you got to play it, right? You got
What
to
is
play
it?
as an
Little
orange cat
Kitty,
too.
Big
I
City is what it's called.
mean, it does fit. Yes, Little Kitty, Big
Yeah,
City.
Double Dagger Studio.
Here we go. This is
Double
this is
diaper.
a real trailer. Yeah, give me 1 second.
Double Dagger.
Oh,
But yeah, absolutely Untitled Dagger Game. Am I mixed up? Untitled Cat Game. They showed seriously like 12 seconds of it during the direct, where I'm like, wait,
yeah. It was part of that montage that you were talking about later. Like how they do the montage at the end of the show.
yeah,
It was part of that, and that I get so frustrated with that because sometimes they'll show like the best bits in the montage. It's just like, wait, what was that game? Wait, that was like 5 seconds of that game. Then I have to go back, and it's just, oh, look at the kitty.
wow, your little kitty
Aw.
lost in the big city. Oh my gosh, yeah, Untitled Cat Game.
I'm pretty sure I'm going with the shark hat. That one's like the most adorable.
You're a kitty.
The
You're
shark
wandering
cat?
around.
There's a shark hat.
Shark hat. Okay.
Yeah.
My ears are not working right
But
now.
you could understand why Shark Cat would come to mind. Shark Cat, Shark Chicks, Shark. Uh, what's that dog called? What's the Doge called again?
Are you a small
Inu,
dog or a big mouse?
Shiba Inu. Is that right?
The Shiba Inu, yes.
Sharky Inu. I don't know. Needs some more time in the oven with the potato jokes. But yeah, kitty. Oh look, yeah, little kitty, big city. What do you know? So yeah, we saw all of 10 seconds of footage of that during the show, but that looks fun. It looks it looks like a cozy cat game, and we saw the 2 developers holding a cat talking about the game, and essentially why they did it. Something that was cool about the direct is they did have lots of moments from the dev before whatever game they were talking about, and I think we heard 4 different languages. We heard English. Um, I think we heard Spanish.
I'm pretty sure.
I think we heard Spanish. I know there were I know there were Spanish speakers. Uh, we heard Russian. I think. You know what? I should go back and look before I am just naming off the wrong countries because I know I'm going to get it wrong. But I really like that they have all the developers on there, so you can see what the people are like. Like they're just regular people, and it gives you an idea of like how much gaming is like an international thing. which, especially with us versus Nintendo, like Nintendo's from Japan, so it's international by default. But it's nice to see developers spotlighted, like the people themselves, from all over the world. I love that stuff, and I love that that's a thing that's happening with like indie showcases, like indie culture, with the Summer Games stuff coming up, Summer Games Fest, with Jeff Keighley instead of E3 and all that stuff. It's just a wonderful part of those shows that I really enjoy, especially because I think when older shows like E3 used to do big spotlights that are like 20 minutes long on developers, I liked that stuff, but I think most people just checked out, you know? So anyway, all of that is to say, they were very cute people talking about cute cats while holding a cute cat. It was wonderful. It was very cozy. That's Little Kitty Big City. And we like the Little People Big World games around here. If Chris was here, he'd probably say he'd play it. We can only guess. Then what else? I think that's just about everything except these last two. Does anybody want to talk about Chance's Sonar?
I mean, that one looked really cool, but I will say the other, where did the graphic go? The My Time at Porsche devs.
Oh, My Time at Sandrock?
There we go, Sandrock. That is a shell game if we've ever seen one. We'll definitely have plenty of people in our community to play that in the near future when that releases. Because I mean, it's
Which one?
My Time at Sandrock.
Oh, is that the one that I thought I was like half watching it and I was listening and I was like, those are Stardew Valley sounds.
Yeah,
That's the one.
It's exactly what you want. Yeah.
Like they had something in like the synthetic guitar twang that I was like, bro, that's like exactly the ranch theme from Stardew.
Yeah, it's in early access as far as PC goes, so it's probably a solid, end of the year. Because I don't think that we didn't get a date on the Switch. But yeah, it's travel to the desert community of Sandrock and take on the role of a fledgling builder. So obviously, gather resources. You make machines and stuff to apparently make a production facility to grow this town of Sandrock. So it's really it's a little bit more of an evolution of the Stardew Valley stuff. It's gathering resources to move forward in the story itself. I never played my time in Portia, but it always looked like really intriguing to me, and that one was a little bit more of the resource and farming and stuff like that. But it looks like they really got a lot of budget from my time at Portia to put towards Sandrock. So it looks like it's going to be a really good time.
Well, yeah. Looks cute. You've got all these people with massive heads, in a cartoon world. Wow, look how big her hair was. How do I get that hair? Oh, I'm jealous. I gotta talk to her barber, for sure. Yeah, when I compare it to Stardew, I don't mean to be derogatory. I hope you know, I poke fun at a lot of stuff like this, but it's all in good fun. Um, there was another game that, oh no, somebody linked it to me. I'd have to go back so I could thank him. I think it was Fuzzy Man Peach who sent me the trailer for a game called Common Hood. It's like common apostrophe hood, and it's a survival based building game. It's exactly what you would expect it to be. I don't know if there's like some sort of zombie thing or anything like that, but it seems like it's very much a slow moving progressive building game because there were like lots of variations of oh, you have this technology and you're going to build this kind of like base with potted plants and all this, and later on of course you have hydroponics and crazy almost elevators and yada yada. But yeah, watching these games just always makes me want to just jump in and base build with a ton of people like we did in Sons of the Forest. You go chop some trees and I'll lay the foundation over here. We'll put some cannibal heads on spikes. It's gonna be great. Not as cozy as the cat game, but it's a little comfort.
Almost.
Yeah.
Very close.
So let's see. That was My Time at Sandrock. We just played the trailer for. I think two more. We've got oh my gosh, Chance of Sonar. That's Chants of Sonar. Gosh, how many times can I say it? How embarrassing. This game has an aesthetic like Sable.
Yep.
Gosh, it's always at the tip of my tongue. It has an aesthetic like Sable, and you're running around. Let's see, the trailer says you are. It says explore, decode, learn, connect. And those are pretty much all the words that we see like as the player or as the character in this game. There are characters that talk to each other in this world that you're running around, maybe doing some like minor stealth puzzles and searching and puzzle solving. But the in-game language, as you see these characters talk to each other and you're reading books and stuff, it's all in a fictional language. So much like a game like Hyperlight Drifter, I love games like this that are able to tell a story, or Journey is a good example. They're able to tell a story without using any words. It's all through actions and gestures and illustrations. And I think that's great. I think games like this are accessible for that reason. You know, I at the beginning had thought of The Witness, even though this is definitely not The Witness. Just the like pretty colors, you know, the vibrant colors with a cool environment with minimal characters but no speaking. Yeah, it seems like a certain type of almost like an escape room adjacent game. Just in the, you know, like I guess that's not really a good descriptor because I'm also lumping something like Inside or Limbo in there as well. You're like just exploring a very visually pleasing environment as like a story unfolds with no words. I'll have to come up with a better something flashy like Sovereign Shakeup. You know, we'll work on that a little bit. But yeah, Chance of Sonar looks cool. Never heard of it before. I'm pretty sure this is a world release, but I'm here for that. September 5th on Nintendo Switch. It says, yeah, only on the eShop. So cool. That's a good one. And then I'll just breeze through these. Cult of the Lamb DLC. It looks like more Cult of the Lamb, which is a good thing. That's really all there is to say about that. It just is the Cult of the Lamb that you know and love, just more of it, which is great. That game, I watched Lizzie play through. I watched my partner play through pretty much all of it, more or less. And then I played through maybe a third of it, maybe just under a half, depending on how you would count it. I have lots of unlocks in my city, but not a lot of combat. I liked the base management more than I liked the rest of the game, but the rest of the game was good too. It was just my favorite part. So yeah, I'm like not far in the story at all, but I got a sick base, a sick cult. You know how it is. Yeah, Cult of the Lamb's rad. So more DLC is more good game. Go play it. Cult of the Lamb is also a very good handheld game, so I would really recommend that on Switch or Steam Deck, 100%. And then I think that's it, right? I think that's the last of them. Oxenfree 2 is in there. That looks cool. It's like Oxenfree 1.
Last one on our list, I think, but yeah.
Cool. Awesome. So yeah, you've been showcased, baby. Yeah, lots of good games, lots and lots of good stuff. Lots of indies really is my favorite part. Across the whole show today, we've discussed a whole lot of indies. There's so much to choose from, and we're still like ramping up to be in indie season. You know, like we had talked about April being the time that all these games were going to drop that we saw last year at either E3 or the Game Awards, and we're seeing a lot of that now. But we're seeing even more trailers roll out, more ports across platforms. You know, this is indie just keeps, you know, its heyday just keeps getting better and better, I think. Now with 2 handheld devices, we've got a lot more community members who have Steam Decks firsthand as well. So with those and the push to have more games with multiplayer, with crossplay, we're doing all right. You know, even Discord integration's been better too. So even more ways to play.
we're barely a month away from Summer Game Fest.
Yeah, baby.
Stop it! Don't let my wallet hear you say that.
Month and a half.
That's going to be good. Everybody keep an eye out for a big watch party in our Discord. I forget which day of the week that is, but I plan on being around all day. It'll be a whole day affair, and if you're somebody who's looking to be excited, find reasons to be excited about indie games.
It's a Thursday.
Hey, that's my day off. What do you know? We should host a podcast on that day. That's incredible.
Perhaps.
Yeah, well, wonderful. Looking forward to a whole lot of game stuff in the next couple months. So lots of reasons to be excited. Okay, well, that's a wrap for the main part of the show. After this, we're going to play some Pentiment with our community with Shanny Pack, Deadpool, and Hot Rod, our regular community members, our party members, if you will. What else have we got? We've got some stuff on the horizon, just things that I'm excited for, looking forward. We're a little over a couple, maybe 3 weeks away from the 1.0 release of Darkest Dungeon. I continue to see more updates as that gets closer. I'm excited to play that. I'm sure I'll play that on our Monday roguelike stream when that comes up, so check that out. You can find a bunch of VODs on YouTube, kind of, but really the best place if you want to experience the videos that we've been talking about, either stuff that I have played or stuff that Sovereign has played. Check us out here on Twitch. That's Party Invite Show is our channel here. Sovereign's is Sovereign Sid. Also here on twitch.tv. Thanks for everybody who's joined us so far. So we'll take a break here in a minute, but yeah, let us know here in chat or online in the future. What made you smile this week? What from the Nintendo Direct got you excited? What's on the horizon? We got good vibes abound. Spring's here. Oh, you know what? I didn't even mention. If Chris was here, go check out his VOD from Tuesday. He played Wild Frost, a pretty difficult roguelike, a deck building roguelike that seems pretty rad. It was kind of funny reading the Steam reviews on those because half the reviews were like, "Whoa, this game's too hard," and the other half were like, "Everyone else on Steam is a whiny baby." It's just a stark contrast. But it was a great stream. Chris handled the game like a champ. I really enjoyed watching and listening. It's got a really interesting soundtrack. It's got lots of songs in 7/8, which a lot of video games don't have. And it kind of a little bit reminded me of One Step to Eden that we played. That's inspired by the Mega Man Battle Network game.
Which just recently released on Nintendo Switch Online.
Hey, there you go.
And comes with online capabilities, so beat your friends up.
Full circle. So cool. Yeah, let us know what you guys are excited for, and thank you for sticking around for the show.
Before we leave, I did want to give out that last shout out to KC Game On, since they will be having that LAN party this weekend. I will be posting a link in chat, so you can see all the events that are going on, like all the tournaments and things like that. And yeah, I mean, visit the website, visit the Discord. I mean, they're also a welcoming community that is, trying to get the people together, which is something that we're always all about on Party Invite. So yeah.
Check us out, partyinvite.games, and on Discord, discord.gg/partyinviteshow. All right, everybody, I've been Tegan. This is Vilos, and that's Sovereign. Thanks for joining us. We'll have more to talk about after the show, but we'll catch you next Thursday. Bye!
Bye!